Hello and welcome back to our intimate conversation with legendary actress Margaret Avery, one of the original cast members of The Color Purple, a film that garnered 11 Academy Award nominations in 85, including a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. But Ms. Avery, I know, and you've been quite vocal over the years about how troublesome it was. 11 nominations. Not a single person walked away that night with an Oscar.
It was surprisingly disappointing, but there was still the feeling of being happy and being nominated.
Of course.
You know, because of being an actor for so many years prior to The Color Purple, no one knew who I was. But it's wonderful to be acknowledged and appreciated by your peers.
What was it like for you afterwards? I mean, was your agent just like fielding calls? Oh my gosh, she's too busy. What were the opportunities like for you afterwards?
Well, it was disappointing because I thought, oh wow, I'm finally on the map. And it didn't work for 2 years. Couldn't even get a manager.
For 2 years, why?
For 2 years. Well, you got to remember, Color Purple came 8 years after Sounder. So for 8 years, it was nothing. And being, there were no black films for me to go into. You know, we didn't have the wonderful directors of color now. So,
and how to hear you say that now in 2024, there were no black films, as if you could not have been inserted in any of the many classics that came afterwards. Did it feel like you had to be assigned to black movies only?
Oh yes, we had no doubt.
Or a denigrating role in another type of movie?
Here's the difference with the black actress and the black actor. Okay, Danny Glover had been working in other films because he wasn't limited to black films. He could be the sidekick to the white male lead. Whereas women of color, we always had to be related to the boyfriend, or we had to be the wife, or you know, the mother, something. So that limited us as the kind of roles we could play if we were cast in a quote white film.
Right.
So there was a difference there. Whoopi, she was able to go on to further her career because she had a 3-picture deal with Warner Brothers. So right after Color Purple, she went into another film. And during that lull, and bless her, so wonderful for her, she was able to hook up with Comic Relief, I believe it was.
Yes.
Billy Crystal and the wonderful Robin Williams.
Right.
And so that kept her name out, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to get some kind of momentum and keep it.
Right.
And unfortunately, that just wasn't the case.
I know one of the things you've all been really vocal as well about is the inequities in pay that still exist. There's the struggle to get the role, right? And then you get the role, and then you understand what everybody else on the set is making in comparison. And I know that is something that Taraji P. Henson is talking about, both issues, right? I want to play a clip from something that she has recently said on her tours about this movie and the impact. Let's listen to what she had to say about this.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't mathing.
When you see the tears in her eyes, why isn't the mathing yet? Still, you've been doing this 50 years. Why are sisters still crying over the same heartbreaking disparities?
I don't want to cry, but we've all suffered. And the thing about money, we don't talk about what we got. We just kind of suppress it and not share it. It's almost as though it's a part of what we have to accept.
It's just a given.
Now, I think there's a cultural thing going on here. It's not just Taraji, or it's not just women of color. It's women not being appreciated or given the value or feeling that we are of value as the male counterpart.
And really in every industry, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're always fighting. But in the film industry, we're the bottom line. We're at the bottom of the pecking order. The white male, the black male, or the white female, and on and on. And when you get to color, women, and then older women.
All of it, all of the layers. Now, to be clear, you are known in so many other roles and so many other capacities now, on big screen, small screen, but it's still been a struggle, and you don't apologize for sort of keeping a spotlight, if you would, on this issue.
It's always a struggle. I mean, it's like, no matter how much money I make, there's a poor mentality, because I don't know how long it's going to be before the next job.
So that scarcity mindset that my generation and so much we're still talking about, you're still dealing with this now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's because, okay, how many years has it been since I've really worked? I've done little minor things now because of my age. I moved into the grandma roles. Because, why is that? Because we have writers, but they're mostly men. They don't write for women. They write from their perspective. Now, even with the Caucasian women, how many of them, older women, really get work? We use the same ones over and over again.
Right.
And Europe, they have a different idea about the older woman. There's much more respect there.
More reverence.
They feel that we're more sexy, we're more together. They love us. We don't have that perspective. Again, as you mentioned, when I first got into the business and started trying to get an agent, the agent told me at 26
that you were
I was over the hill.
And here we are. But listen, sister, you are far from over the hill, and we are just so moved by the work that you continue to do. I want to pause again right here, and when we come back, as if it can get any more candid, Ms. Avery talks about a lot more about the impact Hollywood had on her mental health and the mental health of women in Hollywood. You're going to hear how she battled depression but won when we return.